Following widespread violent protests in the capital city of Moroni in Comoros on Wednesday and Thursday, the government has taken to implement an overnight curfew. The protest emerged after President Azali Assoumani's re-election for a fifth term, after clinching more than 60% of votes against presidential opponents. We take a look at this with human rights law academic at the University of Pretoria with a focus on regional governance and elections, Tendai Mbanje. Tendai, thank you very much for your time this morning. What do we need to know about the Comoros? Firstly, the political landscape there, but also the conditions of people.
Thank you. Good morning. I appreciate you for having me. So what we need to know about Comoros is that it's a very small country. It constitutes three small islands that makes one little country. Many Africans are not very familiar with this country, but it's a former French colony that got its independence in 1975. And since then, it was very politically unstable, with lots of succession disputes in terms of governance. And then it experienced approximately about 20 coups. And then in 2001, there was an agreement called the Mbanje Agreement, which put an end to that political crisis, whereby there was an agreement of rotational in terms of presidency. And then, since then, it has been politically stable. And recently, in 2018, there was a controversial referendum which cancelled the Mbanje Agreement and cancelled the presidential term limit, which was seen as an attempt of the incumbent President Azali Assoumani to extend his presidency to the unpredictable future. So since then, it has been politically unstable. And there's been lots of boycotts, in terms of regression of human rights. I mean, there's a record on shrinking human rights, arrest of opposition political parties, journalists, censorship, and basically it has become an autocratic state. And then leading to the elections, there's been a lot of contestation on the credibility of this poll, since President Azali seemed to have captured key state institutions as the court, among others. And then we see this election opposition have boycotted, which we see the voter turnout is 16% of the registered population of about 330,000 people, and also the population of the country is about 800,000. And then this is what is bringing all this chaos, whereby the opposition are going to street to try to address this matter.
Okay. What is the quality of life?
The quality of life, generally, Comoros is one of the third world countries, like many others. I think the quality of life has been deteriorating over the decades. Hence, you see the political landscape is becoming more tense. The average citizen is failing to make ends meet, and hence the presidency is consolidating power, and then the opposition have no means to or a chance or to dream about retaining of power. So I think these protests are a result of shrinking quality of living, as well as human rights situation in general.
Mm-hmm. Who needs to do what? That's a very intimate population, less than 1 million people. Who needs to do what? Who can come to their aid?
At this stage, it's very tricky. You see that President Osman Azali is the current chairperson of the African Union. And you see that in the past 6 months, starting from Zimbabwe and recently the DRC and now Comoros, we have had very highly contested elections in the region, and it's under his chairmanship. And President Azali is a former military leader. And this speaks to his attitude towards human rights on the continent in general. That's what analysts are saying. So you will see that under his chairmanship, we have had 3 very bad elections. and it's at home, is housing a very contested, a very critical election where the population didn't actually exercise their right to vote. 16% is too low for a population of 330,000. So in terms of the situations we are stuck, the stakes are high because the AU cannot do anything without the contribution of the chair. So the chairmanship is critical in terms of steering issues of peace and security, as well as matters of that concerns the stability of the region. So he's at home and he's the man in charge. So who needs to do what? It's very critical. I don't know who can do what because it's the chairmanship that is at home, and these are the problems that we are facing here.
What drives the economy in the Comoros? Who are some of the sponsors?
I'm not sure about who are the sponsors, but you know that Archipelago Islands, they rely much on tourism. They rely much on fishing, among other things that is sustained by the availability of the water, the ocean and stuff. So I'm not completely sure who drives the economy in terms of the sponsorship, but of course they rely much on tourism and fishing and activities that involves marine, that involves production in the sea and other things.